Stand by now for the sixth performance of See It Now with Edward R. Murrow, which originates in the actual control room of Studio 41 and in New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Omaha, Chicago, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Washington, Covington, Kentucky, and Korea. Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America, in cooperation with CBS Television, presents the distinguished reporter and news analyst Edward R. Murrow in See It Now, a document for television based on the week's news and told through the actual voices and faces that made the news. Edited and produced by Mr. Murrow and Fred W. Friendly. A public service of Aluminum Company of America, the nation's leading producer of aluminum. Now speaking to you from the actual control room of Studio 41 is the editor of See It Now, Edward R. Murrow.
Good afternoon. We're aware that in the course of the last week, events of considerable moment have happened. The list of prisoners of war, speeches by statesmen, the tragic mine disaster in Illinois. There has been no decrease in the world tension. This is a period where many of us are disposed to count our many blessings and count them one by one. It's a time also when hearts are rather likely to turn to soldiers, to kids, and to home. For the next few minutes, we're going to look out upon this generous and capacious land as though we were looking out through a window. We will have a glimpse of those defending it, those who live here, and those who will inherit it, whatever we may do to it. So we will begin where we are, here in Studio 41 in the control room in the Grand Central Building in New York. Two of our cameras are 38 floors above this building in nearby New York Central Building Tower. Just to get oriented before we switch westward, let's look down on a bit of New York City.
Hello, Ed. This is the mobile unit in the New York Central Tower. Our camera's looking due north.
Now that artery with the green island in the center is Park Avenue. Now, Eddie, could we have a shot of the Waldorf Astoria, if you please?
There it is, Ed.
Well, next week we'll switch up there for New Year's greeting from Mr. Herbert Hoover. And now, Eddie, could you reach over and get us the United Nations building on the East River, do you think?
Ed, we're going to do that a little later. We'll have to take the Chrysler Tower first.
Aha, too much haze. Right you are. Let's have the Chrysler Tower. Now, can you reach the UN building now, Ed?
Yes, here it comes, Ed.
Right you are. Thank you very much. We'll pan around New York a little bit later. And we'll also make a live switch to San Francisco. But now we should like to travel 5,000 miles past the Pacific coast to Korea. This next sequence was made above the 38th parallel on Wednesday and arrived here by air yesterday. The men are tankers of Able Company of the 23rd Tank Battalion. I shall remain out of this conversation because it requires no commentary from me.
All I got to say about Colorado, there ain't no grass there. Yeah. No, it's all dry, cold.
I like New Orleans. I'm going to try to go back on rotation when I rotate back.
When's that going to be?
Oh, that'll probably be about next Christmas. Man, if I go home for next Christmas, I'm going to make it the best Christmas I ever had. I'm going to spend more time with wife and children. First thing I want to do is go down to the supermarket and pick out the biggest and fattest turkey they got there, you know. And get these cranberries and all that stuff, you know. All the trimming, make the dressing and everything, you know.
I don't blame you.
And then I'm going to get in the car and I'm going out in the woods. I'm going to get the tree myself, you know. I ain't going to buy one of these trees. It's a lot more fun. You go out there and cut one down. You know?
Yeah.
Let the boys take part in. I got a couple of boys. One of them 11, another one 2.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they'll really get a kick out of that, you know. Going out there and picking it out yourself.
Get your own tree, that's
Yeah. We put the base on it and all, you know, and then we'll spend about half the night trimming it, putting all these different decorations on it and everything, you know.
If I was home for Christmas, I'd want a cake about this big and a steak about this thick.
Matter, no turkey, boy?
No turkey. It
Right,
would be better than this.
You don't know what Christmas is back in California.
What are you talking about, man? I know what it is. I'd be swimming. Go to the beach.
Who wants to swim on Christmas?
Swim on Christmas, never heard of it. You don't know what a white Christmas is, boy.
Well, if I was in New York City for Christmas, man, I tell you what I'd do. I'd get up in the morning about 8 o'clock and go to church. After church, I'd come back home and sit around for a while and get my girl, and she and I would go down and see the Christmas show at Radio City.
Where?
At Radio City. That's the largest theater in New York City, man. It's real great.
Oh, yeah.
And from there, we go out to some of the nice spots, you know, and have a nice time, such as the Wayside Casino,
Yeah?
Hillside Bar, Bar 55. Oh,
Bar
man,
what?
55.
Oh,
Really have some nice times, man.
yeah.
Number one.
Good record, eh, Tom?
Yeah, it sounds good even over here. You know, I have the same problem every Christmas. What to get the girl? You go and ask her, you know, just in a friendly sort of way, well, what would you like? And they always say, oh, I don't need anything, don't bother. You know if you don't get it for them, what the hell happens? No girl and goodbye, Jack. So first I go to my mother, then I go to her mother. And for about the 1st of December till the 25th, what shall I get and where will I get it and how will I get it? So usually, last-minute shopping, night before Christmas, I go out and pick up the first thing that comes to my mind. It's something I've been deciding on all along, but boy, I'm telling you, is it a problem? Although I wish I had that problem this year instead of just thinking about it over here. What do you do about a situation like that anyway?
Well, boy, that problem really bothers me because I have a lot of gals there to give presents to. And the last minute comes, I just pick out one present and I buy them all the same kind of presents, and I just distribute them all.
Oh, that's one way of taking care of it.
Now, Don, will you leave Able Company up there on Monitor 1 and give us San Francisco Live on Monitor 2? Hello, San Francisco.
Hello, Ed Murrow.
You know, we had hoped to switch out and look from the top of Coit Hill out to where your ancestors used to watch the great clipper ships come in from the east, but I see that you've got what appears to be a transport there. Is that right?
Yes, Ed, this is the United States naval ship General Daniel I. Sultan, which is just this minute docked, and the men, as you probably can see, are coming off the ship itself.
Well, could you chat with one or two of them, perhaps, as they come off?
Yes, Ed, we can line that up for you. I think we can grab some who are already off. This is the military ship. The Army takes over right after the Navy brings it here. This is Fort Mason in San Francisco, the port of embarkation. It's a little chilly today. The fog, I'm afraid, is a little thick. It's about 55 degrees. And this town of 761,000 is welcoming thousands of GIs home in time for Christmas. We'd like you to meet one or two of them as they come off the ship. We've grabbed a few here, and if you'd like, we'll talk to them for you.
Good,
Hello,
let's
who
do
are
that.
you?
Sergeant Johnson and my wife.
Where are you from?
Vale, Oregon.
Where have you been?
We've been in Japan.
For how long?
Been there 5 years. My wife's been there 3.
What did you miss most?
I miss department stores.
Fine. How about you?
Well, a good old American corner drugstore, about the best thing.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to you, Captain. Would you come right up here so people can get a good look at you on television? Swell. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Captain Devlin from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
How long have you been over in Korea?
I spent 16 months in Korea.
16 months. Where were you?
Well, I was all over Korea.
What do you remember most?
The most thing that impressed me most, I guess, was the first part of the war, the Pusan perimeter.
Thank you very much. And Ed, we have one more here. Did you come up here? Who are you and where are you from?
Harvey Burma, San Diego, California.
And you're a Navy chief?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Well, Ed, it was good to have you aboard, as always, Mr. Murrow. And now, a very Merry Christmas from us here in San Francisco.
Thank you very much, San Francisco. I can't think of anything we would rather have seen 2 days before Christmas than a troop ship coming home. The California coastline is about 1,000 miles long, and there's as much difference between San Francisco and Los Angeles as there is between New York and Miami. Alex Wolcott once said that Los Angeles was 7 suburbs looking for a city. That's perhaps a little strong, but we had difficulty in deciding where we should originate, so we chose Hollywood. Hello, Hollywood.
Hello, New York. Hello, Edinburgh.
Go ahead, Hollywood.
Well, this is Hollywood, Ed, part of the city of Los Angeles. Time, 12:40, temperature, 68, population over 3 million. We can't see downtown Los Angeles from here, Ed, but we have a warm haze. But my vision can pick up the heart of the entertainment business, and that's our CBS building.
Aha, I see that. Now, look, since this is Christmas, let's make a generous gesture. Could you pick up the opposition NBC building around there somewhere?
It's right down the street, Ed. There it is.
Now
to
tell me,
NBC, from Ed Murrow, Joy X Noel.
tell me that mountain that's just behind there that sort of looks down on Los Angeles. What do you call it?
Well, that's Mount Lee, Ed, and right now we're moving up toward the fabulous intersection of Hollywood and Vine. Let's drop down to street level.
Well, Grant, our cameramen back here who are upstairs on a very cold building out in the open have told me that they would like to trade places with your men there.
Well, this they might do. This is the Christmas Tree Lane, Ed. Across the street, the Brown Derby. Pantages Theater, where they hand out the Academy Awards. And let's see if we can find Santa Claus.
I can't see him from here. Ah,
there he is, Ed.
I suppose you've got Christmas lights on the palm trees out there, have you?
Oh, a few, Ed. Yes, we have a few, and that's not one of them, however.
Thanks
but it's
very
good to
much.
see you, Ed.
We're sorry to
Merry
leave
Christmas
you.
from all of us here in Hollywood.
Thank you very much. Next stop, Omaha. Our microwaves leap the mountains. One day we hope to be able to stop off in Salt Lake on the Bonner Pass or maybe in Denver. Our main memory, mine at least, of Nebraska is that great hospitality is always to be encountered there, and when you're driving across the country, you seem to spend most of your time in Nebraska. We also remember Senator George Norris.
Hello, New York. Hello, Ed Murrow.
Right.
Hello, New York.
Go ahead, Omaha.
This is Omaha in the Cornhusker state of Nebraska. It is now 2:42. The temperature is 10 degrees above zero. We have 13 inches of beautiful white snow, and it's a clear, bright, sunshiny day. Greater Omaha's population now 275,000.
Well, you know, it was our thought that if we were to look out of a window at America 2 days before Christmas, we ought to go to a church service. And our station, KMTV in Omaha, obliged.
Ed, we would like to give you two scenes in Omaha, an exterior with children and an interior with adults. This is the corner of 26th Avenue and Farnham. This tree is on the lawn of the Kunst Memorial Lutheran Church.
You know, back here at times we call children like these ragamuffins. What do you call them out in Nebraska?
The same thing, Mr. Murrow.
Well, now I wonder if we might move inside the church.
Yes, sir. The service is already in progress, and the minister is the Reverend Walter Traub.
Lord, bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Amen.
Thank you very much indeed, Omaha. I'm sorry we can't stay with you longer.
Thank you, Mr. Murrow, and a Merry Christmas from all of us in Omaha.
We couldn't, of course, switch to Chicago without quoting Carl Sandburg, who said, Chicago, hog butcher for the world, toolmaker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads, city of the big shoulders. So we take you now to the city of the big shoulders.
Hello, Ed Murrow. This is Chicago.
Hello, Chicago. Go ahead.
Population out here, 5.5 million. The weather today, cold and hazy. Below us, the Chicago River, as you can see. Above it, some of the Chicago skyline. The Tribune Tower, the Wrigley Building, the Palmolive Building with the famous beacon atop. We're going westward along the skyline now to the largest building in area in the world, the commercial buildings at least. There it is, the Merchandise Mart. We have it in Chicago here. And by the way, one of the other largest is here, the largest post office. And probably the busiest today, Ed.
Oh, yes, you said you might get us in, and there we are, aren't we?
Here we are, Ed, on the 6th floor now of the main post office building in Chicago, the parcel post section. That huge slide, you can't see it for the packages there. The belts leading from the various acceptance stations have taken the packages up to the 6th floor. Here a man picks out one package, a defective one, Ed, improperly wrapped. Back to the rewrap section it goes. It costs Uncle Sam something like $10,000 a year, I understand, to rewrap the packages that we fail to wrap properly.
Thanks very much indeed, Chicago.
These boys are working on everyday holiday. That's the picture here today, Ed, and a Merry Christmas from all of us here in Chicago.
Thank you very much indeed. From Chicago southward to St. Louis, across rich, flat land, towns like Kankakee, Farmer City, Springfield, and East St. Louis. A city with one of the greatest newspapers in this country. A city that is half Midwest and half Southern. All right, St. Louis?
Hello, Ed Murrow.
Go ahead, St. Louis.
This is St. Louis, 2:45 Central Standard Time, It's a cloudy day with a temperature of 27 in this metropolitan area with a population of 1.5 million.
Where's your camera, Frank?
We're on top of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch building on 12th and Olived, looking southeast across the industrial section along the Mississippi.
Well, what are the smokestacks we see there?
Those Union Electric Company power plant smokestacks supplying much of the power here. And beyond that, some 70 miles is where I covered that Illinois mine disaster last night. The next building that you'll see is the St. Louis Civil Courts building.
Oh, yes, that was modeled after the Paris one, wasn't it?
Yes, and it's right across the plaza from us there, and also municipal courts and the auditorium.
Frank, anything special going on in St. Louis today?
Say, there's a big Christmas party out at the Shriners Hospital for crippled children going on right now, and we'd like to show it to you.
Roger, let's see it.
We'll go west now to the edge of Forest Park, the site of the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, and here in the Shriners Hospital is the Christmas party. This is the time when all of the parents have an opportunity of visiting with these children and wishing them a Merry Christmas just these 2 days before the great day. And you'll see that they get good care and they're very happy children in spite of their affliction.
Thank you very much indeed, St. Louis. And thank you for letting us see the children in the Shriners Hospital.
Anytime, Ed, and a Merry Christmas from all of us in St. Louis.
Our Middle West was built on rivers. River boats used to go from St. Louis down the Mississippi to Cairo, then up to the Ohio, past Paducah, Louisville to Cincinnati. So let's go now near Cincinnati and have a chance to look at some Americans who don't live in cities. Hello, Cincinnati.
Hello, New York. Hello, Admiral.
Go ahead.
Our voice is from Covington, Kentucky. Come to see us in the spring, Mr. Murrow, and we'll show you our bluegrass.
We'll do that.
For now, we'll have to let you see it with a couple of inches of snow on the ground. This is a typical mansion where we find Morris Coors, a Kentucky colonel.
Well, we'd like to meet him. Is he there?
Oh, yes, he is.
There he is now, isn't
There he's coming in.
Aha.
Mr. Coors?
It's good to extend to you the hospitality of old Kentucky.
Thank you very much,
Coming
sir.
to your homes across the land at a time when we're all praying for peace on earth and goodwill toward men, and extending to you from Kentucky the season's greeting.
Thank you, sir, very much indeed. Those were excellent-looking horses you had out there as well. Now, Cincinnati, could you swing north across the Ohio into the city?
Yes, sir. We'll do that right now, Mr. Murrow. And right before you, winding like a ribbon with more than 4 bridges between Cincinnati and Kentucky, is the Ohio River. And those buildings we see, first, the Time-Star, one of our newspapers, Crew Tower, where Happy Chandler used to have his office. Then there's the Netherland Plaza Hotel and more skyline. Anything else you'd like to see, Mr. Murrow?
Well, I'd like to stay with you for another 5 or 10 minutes, but unfortunately we're the prisoners of the watch. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Ed, and a Merry Christmas from all of us in Cincinnati.
They tell us that if we laid a ruler from the Mesabi Range in Minnesota to the rich Pennsylvania coal fields, it would hit Lake Erie, and just where Cleveland stands on the lake. So now we take you to one of the country's chief inland ports.
Hello, New York.
Hello, Cleveland.
Hello, Ed Murrow.
Go ahead, Cleveland.
This is Cleveland, where it's 3:48 p.m., 39 degrees, and a very pleasant Sunday afternoon. We have some very interesting shots lined up down at the lakefront, but first, perhaps you'd like some good pictures of the city.
Go ahead.
Now, as we pan up, you'll see the Terminal Tower, Cleveland's major landmark. And now, as our cameras swing down toward the lakefront, you'll see the Municipal Stadium, home of the Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland Indians. And finally, our lakefront.
Aha.
Now we'll move down to the William G. Mather, flagship of the Cleveland Cliffs Fleet, and our reporter on board, Gil Canfield.
And down on the William G. Mather here, we find it's very quiet in Cleveland in the port. The boats are mostly tied up for the season. It's a wonderful day down here, windy but not too cold. We're here to show you a little something that happens every year in Cleveland, the lighting of the ships. The Cleveland Cliffs Fleet lights up for Christmas. There are colored lights strung from stem to stern on every possible line, every spot they can put a light. They're beautiful lights, and at night they shine out over all these vessels you are seeing here. And we end up with the star on the foremast. And now a Merry Christmas from all of us on the ore boat in Cleveland.
Thank you very much indeed, Cleveland. I wish that we might come back and see those boats all lighted up at night. There are no politics on this program, but we dedicate the next portion of it to politicians, those who have been in Washington and are no longer there, and those who hope somehow that they may be able to get there. Some recent events in our national capital's history haven't looked so good in pictures, but some of us may have forgotten just how beautiful the city is.
Hello, New York. Hello, Ed Morrow.
Hello, Worsper. Go ahead.
Well, here it is, the capital of the United States. Let's zoom in on it, boys. Now, on the left, piece of the Supreme Court, and coming back down along the mall, there the National Art Gallery with the dome. In front of that, the new Smithsonian Institute, the old ones across the road. And on the left of that, the FTC, Justice, Internal Revenue Department, having a little trouble there these days.
Well, now, Joe, can you tell us where you're shooting from?
Well, here she is, the Washington Monument. We've got a camera right up there at the top. Incidentally, Ed, the first time in television history anybody's gotten a camera up there, and after the job we've had doing it today, I think it's going to be the last time.
Well, all right, now you've finished the commercial. Go ahead and tell us what you have. Show us what you have.
Boys, I think you recognize that as one of the most beautiful buildings in Washington, the Lincoln Memorial. And way over there in the Virginia side is the Arlington Cemetery and the Lee Mansion. Now, I want to show you something else, Ed. See if you recognize that one. That's the White House, looking down from the Washington Monument. It's got a lot of masonry going on there. Give you a view of the town. There are some more government buildings. I hear tell Washington is loaded with government stuff. Pan up, boys. Pan me up and give me Maryland. Give me a piece of Maryland on there. Well, way at the top of that camera, there she goes. That's downtown residential Washington, and way in the rear is Maryland.
Joe, I'm sorry to interrupt. Thanks for the excellent conducted tour. When See It Now folds, maybe you can get a job barking on one of those buses.
Thank you very much, boss, and Merry Christmas from all of us in Washington.
Now back to New York. We want to show you the inside of Grand Central Station after a 1-minute Christmas greeting from Alcoa.
This bright, sparkling half-ounce of aluminum is part of our Christmas card. It is a symbol of the thousands of products of Alcoa aluminum that make for better living. In your homes, on your farms, even at this very moment, bringing your families back home for Christmas. It is also a symbol of the tons of aluminum being used overseas to defend our way of life, to fight, to fly, to eat turkey 7,000 miles away. This, then, is just a tiny part of the ever-growing supply of aluminum that is being produced at Alcoa plants this Yuletide Sunday, every day and every night, 7 days a week. To you and to Americans everywhere who pray above all else for peace on earth, goodwill toward men, the 50,000 men and women of Alcoa want to say, we add our prayers for peace and Merry Christmas.
As we told you, we have a camera crew 38 floors above looking down on New York. Eddie Scott, on camera 1, let's have an exterior shot looking down on the Grand Central Terminal roof, if you will.
All right, Ed, we're coming right down on top of it. And would you like us to zoom in?
Oh, let's try it. Now, the camera inside the station, Jesse Zosmer, can we see what you've got there, please?
You're in it now, Ed, on the upper level. Sunday afternoon, 3:52. We've just heard a soloist. Temperature outside is 36. Unprecedented holiday business. People still going places.
Anyone going to Ohio?
Yeah, I see the Ohio Limited is up, going back to Cincinnati. I see Springfield is up, going north.
Well, thanks very much, Jess, for letting us see the inside of Grand Central Terminal.
Right-o.
At the beginning of this program, we showed you a glimpse of men defending their country. Now we want to show you a brief look at children who will inherit it. This filmed dress rehearsal at the Children's Home School of the Child Education Foundation here in New York was not produced for television. We merely opened our cameras and we bring you a part of it because we wanted you to see the faces of children who speak with angels with no difficulty at all.
And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen, as it was told unto them.
This is the place where there should be some kind of Christmas editorial. We have none. This story was too well written, has survived too long for us to attempt any kind of rewrite. We have merely attempted to show you some glimpse of this generous and capacious land, hoping to remind you that all of it is home. We have roved this country for a brief look at young faces unmarked by apprehension or dismay about the future. They will inherit it and try to deal with it. We brought you a short sequence of fighting men, singing, because they represent part of the price we paid in our bargain with destiny. We pretend no knowledge of the future. It may be that more soldiers will die, that small children will never know real peace, that great cities will be destroyed. But the thing that Christmas stands for, stripped of all its tawdry commercialism and tinfoil, is something to which men have returned and will return again. This is not to be destroyed unless we do it. For our own part, we hope to remind ourselves and you that the first thing the angel said to the shepherds was, "Fear not." Good afternoon and good luck.
This is aluminum. Nature made it light. Alcoa made it plentiful and low in price. This is aluminum, a new and better way to protect food, to cook the tastiest Christmas dinner you ever had. Wherever foil, an Alcoa aluminum product is today's #1 food saver. It prevents shrinkage during cooking, seals in food flavors, it saves work, too, with no messy pans to scour. Used in millions of households, it keeps stored food fresher longer. There will be more and more Wherever Foil next year when our country's defense needs have been met. Wherever Foil for the kitchens of America. Aluminum from the ever-expanding facilities of America's foremost producer, Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America.
This is the CBS Television Network.